what do you think about your big speech in the free speech zone at 3 o'clock?
Well, considering that the Hofstra University made sure that all the students were going to be somewhere else at this time, and there's nobody here, I'm thinking about how short to keep my speech.
Oh, that's a good idea. You know, I have poems. I could bore people for hours.
Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Yeah, my name's Johnny Phillips. Stop the war. Thanks. Yes, mate.
Don't know what that's all about. Maybe someone's coming in. They're either watching us or someone's coming in from big to big in a helicopter. Now some birds with some little Long Island flavor. Oh yeah. This is Sister Jean Clark.
I'm behind bars here.
That's because we are in the free speech zone, which is jail, and you're on the other side.
Well, I'm real happy to be here because I want to be with the people standing for taking our country back. And I'm certainly hoping that we come to some more justice and peace and the rule of law, getting out of the rat. And also I'm very supportive of anybody who wants to clean up the environment. I like to be good to earth. So these are all the things that I'm here for.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. As the first speaker of the day at the Free Speech Zone, I feel a responsibility to thank Hofstra for setting up these facilities. Unfortunately, Hofstra scheduled against this events for the student on the South Campus to see student organizations talking about issues rather than the activists that are scheduled to speak here at the Free Speech Zone. I think it would have been a much better education. Just as yesterday when I was here live blogging, Hofstra was kind enough to have historical reenactors of Abraham Lincoln, of Frederick Douglass, Victoria Woodhull, and Teddy Roosevelt. Now, it was wonderful to have them, but they're all dead third-party candidates. Hofstra was not interested in input from people as to inviting the live third-party candidates to come speak on campus, because there are 6 altogether candidates nationwide who are on enough ballots to win the Electoral College, but there are only 2 that are speaking on the debate on campus tonight. Now, to give you some idea of what difference that makes, I actually was asked to speak tomorrow night at New York Institute of Technology for about 5 minutes on the Obama and McCain campaigns and give the green perspective of that. So I'd like to go through my speech there and get a little practice for tomorrow night. As you can guess, I am supporting Cynthia McKinney for president. She is the Green Party candidate. My name is Ian Wilder. I'm former co-chair of the Green Party of New York State. I've been busy campaigning for Cynthia, who is a former 6-term congresswoman, and her running mate for vice president, Rosa Clemente, who's a hip-hop activist and journalist. The media has focused a great deal on the personal narratives of the candidates, which are intriguing to say the least. but I find that the candidate's willingness to actually take positions on issues that matter tell me more about their character. The first one is something that I've started discussing at the beginning. The debate tonight shows that McCain and Obama are not interested in the Democratic debate. Why do I say that? Because the debate tonight is run by the Commission on Presidential Debates. They are no more than an arm of the Democratic and Republican parties. The commission is headed by former chairs of those two national parties and funded by the same large corporations that also fund those two parties' conventions. My candidate, Cynthia McKinney, on the other hand, believes in open debates. She doesn't believe in taking corporate donations. And she has spoken again and again for a debate system where all the candidates who can be elected president have a chance to address the public. What issues are you asking could the public hear about if there were more candidates? Well, for instance, single-payer universal health care. That's a system that exists in other industrialized nations, but both Obama and McCain oppose it. Both Obama and McCain have health care plans that leave the overpriced insurance companies in charge of health care and just set up a way for the government to fund the insurance companies more. The Obama-McCain campaigns will merely make the health care system more burdensome to consumers and to business. The insurance companies take about a 25%, let me do a Joe Biden here and repeat that, 25% overhead on health care insurance, while government-run insurance plans only cost about 1%. The McCain-Obama plan leave hundreds, yes, hundreds of private and public health care bureaucracies in place. Switching to a single-payer universal health care system would be self-funding by cutting out this wasted money and time. The Green Party candidate, Cynthia McKinney, supports single-payer universal health care. As McKinney said during her nomination acceptance speech, an insurance agent should not become between a doctor and her patient. Senators McCain and Obama also support this trillion-dollar bailout of Wall Street. They even agree on the talking points of changing the description of this bailout to call it a rescue plan to make it more consumer-friendly. The same fear tactics that we used to railroad the U.S. into the Iraq War were used to pass this trillion-dollar surge for Wall Street. Instead, what we needed was a plan to shore up our economy by protecting the consumers, not the corporations, that were harmed by this financial nightmare, prosecute the criminals, and immediately adopt regulations to prevent this from reoccurring. Green Party candidate Cynthia McKinney has set out such a 14-point plan. On August 29, 2008, there was an Associated Press article describing the similarities between the Obama-McCain agendas. In fact, they went as far to call it the McBama agenda. One point agreement between Obama and McCain in that article is that both would open up offshore drilling. Yes, they disagree about extent, but they both agree about opening it up. Offshore drilling would not be an immediate or long-term solution to our problems. It would produce oil in 10 years from now. Furthermore, it would just be throwing more money at an oil-based economy. We need the equivalent of an Apollo project to make the switch over to an economy based on renewable energy sources such as wind and solar. Despite both McCain and Obama's support of nuclear energy, we need to avoid veering back down that dangerous path, which is an economic, safety, and security disaster. Green Party candidate Cynthia McKinney has said, leave the oil in the soil. She has said instead, invest in solar, wind, and geothermal immediately for new jobs, fresh air, and affordable transportation while avoiding nuclear energy. The same Associated Press article also shows that Obama and McCain support keeping a military and paramilitary presence in Iraq, increasing the size of the war in Afghanistan, and continuing the failed policy of using the military to try and undermine terrorism. Both McCain and Obama have voted to fund the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Green Party presidential candidate Cynthia McKinney voted against the Iraq invasion while she was in Congress and wants an immediate withdrawal of all U.S. military and paramilitary forces from Iraq and Afghanistan. Right this moment, I'm in the process of reading a book by prize-winning journalist Amy Goodman. Her book is titled Standing Up to the Madness. She described the current situation we're in this country as business as usual in a one-party state. This won't change by phone calls, by petitions, by emails. History has shown that politicians care more about votes and money. If you support a candidate who supports what you really believe in, then you will see the change you want. You get the change you vote for. Thank you.
This is the manure, which there might be a lot of at the state. This is the woman with the plan for the manure.
Yes, absolutely. I had asked, I saw all this wonderful free horse manure, and I use it in my vegetable garden. And I asked the police officer if I could have it, you know, scoop it up in a plastic bag so I could put it on my vegetables. And he said, no, I wasn't allowed to go beyond the barrier. So Catherine had a great idea. She said that since we've had 8 years of bullshit, that we should have the horse shit for free, and we can put it in little bags and give it away.
From the McCain-Palin campaign.
Yeah, that would be nice, you know. So at least after 8 years we would get something for free.
Thank you.
To sum this up, with a picture of the horse shit at the presidential debates, horse shit.
I'd say so.
Green Party, we are against the war, period. We are in favor of sending all of our troops from all the countries around the world, bring them back to the United States for defense purposes only. Balance the budget. Bring the money for health care, the real issues, health care, the environment, education. We are only industrialized nation.
Good. We have, oh, you made your own sign and it looks like our sign. Where did you come? We're from Long Island. Did you come with the city? Oh, yeah. You want to say anything on tape?
Go Greens!
That's pretty good. That about says it all. So did Karen Young and the carload get here? Oh, okay, because Karen Young was bringing people.
Oh, okay. You can tell Gloria you saw Ian and Kimberly.
Good to see you.
Knows what he is.
Oh, yeah. We get around. Oh, there's another helicopter. I'm not getting it. Oh, there it is. It's Channel 2. It's Channel 2. Wave. So we're traffic today.
The matter redeployed to the next battlefield, upon which to continue to kill and to be killed. Both candidates have promised to surge in Afghanistan and a commitment to continue the war on terrorism until our enemies, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, perhaps Iran, are defeated and Osama bin Laden is able to capture. Consequently, our promise to the American people will change from the politics of the last 8 years. All we have truly been offered by both candidates is more of the same. Even many of the Iraq War's most violent and outspoken opponents, the Iraq Veterans Against War, military families speak out.
Go all the way around and you get to the exit.
Generally condemning unnecessary war and demanding better treatment for the veterans have remained curiously silent on the continued occupation and proposed escalation of war in Afghanistan. I believe the candidates for the presidency who oppose the continuation of the Bush administration's foreign policy of gun-vote diplomacy and militarism in the Middle East may be due in part to an acceptance that the foundation of our
Ian, let's do our signs. He's saying what our sign's about.
That is, invading Iraq, we abandoned the pursuit of real terrorists in Afghanistan. those who were truly responsible for the attacks of 9/11 and allowing them to escape. As a result, the American public, even many within the peace community, has been lost, perhaps even seduced into an acceptance without announcing the debate of Afghanistan as a good war, necessary for our national security and the right front from which to wage a war against terrorism justified by the attacks of 9/11. This mindset has allowed both presidential candidates to promise with some esoteric differences to end the war in Iraq in order to continue the occupation and to escalate the war in Afghanistan. That is, to replace one quagmire and unwinnable war with another. The only discussion being whether to have a timetable for the redeployment or to redeploy based on conditions on the ground. Tragically, what is not questioned is whether we should be fighting in Afghanistan at all. Well, here is something to think about before we accept Afghanistan as being the good war, the just war. Neither the Taliban nor the Afghan people attacked the United States. Allegedly, it was Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, both of whom, incidentally, were financed and trained by the CIA. A nation, most importantly, the citizens, do not forfeit their right to territorial integrity and political sovereignty, nor do they become right to be targeted and killed because of the actions of a relatively few who train and strategize from remote areas within their national boundaries. Consequently, whereas the just war was satisfied, the invasion of Afghanistan is not a good, not a just war, but an act of aggression. The United States is not empowered to arm or conduct military incursions within the borders of a sovereign nation without the permission or against the will of its legitimate government in order to pursue those they deem terrorists. Civilians are being killed in ever-increasing numbers by NATO forces. Nearly 700 were killed in Afghanistan in the first 3 months of 2008, violating the moral and legal requirement in war for non-combatant immunity. After 5 years of combat operations in Iraq and 7 in Afghanistan, our military is stretched to the breaking point. Before resigning as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Peter Pace warned that our military is broken and not be able to respond effectively or confronted with another crisis. Unless the draft is being instituted, continuing the occupation and escalating the war in Afghanistan while maintaining a residual force in Iraq would require the deployment of inadequately trained troops, repeated deployments with inadequate downtime, the continuation of stop-loss measures to compensate for declines in recruitment and enlistment, and the continued federalization of the national guard. The resulting increase in American deaths and physical injuries, continuing the occupation and escalating the war in Afghanistan would increase an already tragic level of psychological casualties, post-traumatic stress disorder, alcoholism, drug abuse, and suicide among returning veterans. With the cost of the war on terrorism expected to exceed $3 trillion and our economy teetering on the verge of collapse, continuing the occupation and escalating the war in Afghanistan would be economic suicide and blame in the hands of the terrorists. Osama bin Laden writes, through him, and I quote, all that we have to do is to send two Mujahideen to the furthest point east and to raise a piece of cloth on which is written Al-Qaeda in order to make generals race there who cause America to suffer human, economic, and political losses without ever achieving anything other than some benefit for the private from Alexander the Great to the Soviet Union, who had 160,000 troops deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan. One more minute, okay, let me just skip over this. But to express our position with the continued occupation and escalation of war in Afghanistan does not discredit or place our opposition to the Iraq war on the back burner. What it does is recognize that every war must be subject to scrutiny and all evaluation. By any measure, therefore, both presidential candidates are misguided, and military victory in Afghanistan is simply not possible. Or, given the state of the economy and that of the military, at least a sacrifice this nation cannot endure. Sometimes winning at all costs is not wise, or the best, or moral. Afghanistan is not a good war. We must not have war in either part of our country. With another. They cut you off. All of us forward. The continued war of another unwinnable war.
I'm going to Iraq. I don't know if I'm done back. Rolling out old big chains on. And we was rolling out old big chains on. Rolling out old big chains on. I'm going to Iraq. I don't know if I'm done back. Rolling out old big chains on. Now they'll tell you this war is for freedom. And fighting for people with the teeth on. When it all comes to a boil, steal the money and the oil, and it leaves dead for all the world to see. And we're just rolling out old big chains on. Rolling out old big chains on. I'm going to Iraq. Rolling out old big chains on. George Bush stands for the war profiteering and emptying the U.S. Treasury. Oh yeah, you don't stop us now, there'll be no way, no how, and all of us will forever be just rolling out old Dick Cheney's on, rolling out old Dick Cheney's on. We're going to Iraq, we don't know if we'll come back. Rolling out old Dick Cheney's on, and we're just rolling out old Dick Cheney's on, rolling out old Dick Cheney's on. I'm going to Iraq, I don't know if I'll come back. Rolling out old Dick Cheney's on, rolling out old Dick Cheney's on. Yeah.